Hey, what is up? Happy Sunday. Just want to hop on here real quick while I am traveling. And yes, finally now I'm able to get out of the house and have a life. And my message for you today is right now we have already gone past half the year and there is another half coming up. And if you don't want to go into 2022 going through the same cycles as a closer, then it's time to regroup. And by regroup, I mean start dialing in your fundamentals. And number one, to start polishing up your social media, your branding, the kind of stuff you are putting up. If we click on your page and it's food and random stuff, and you're sharing like funny stuff, and there's no clear value who you are and what you do, going into groups and commenting interested and things like that, it's not going to move the needle. You have to start differentiating yourself and express your relationship with closing, your experiences, your values, your opinions, your results, and start putting up stuff out there, because this market is getting more and more saturated. Everyone is going online right now. So all the more you need to have a clear and refreshing voice. If you have the same suit, same cover photo, you're saying the same things, it's cheesy, it's not landing, it's outdated, and people can see through that, you're just a bunch of techniques, then it's time to upgrade. Okay, you are not just a bunch of questions, right? A closer is not a bunch of questions. A closer is a leader that has the ability to lead, to shift, to impact. So make sure that on a daily basis, your brand is reflecting that externally, and internally you are building those real substance, because we are always talking about adding value, and you can't add something that you don't have. So if you want to have it, then by definition you have to build it. So how do you build it, right? Which brings me to point number 2. On a daily basis, what I tell my students, if it's not on your Google Calendar, it's not going to happen. You can think about role-playing, you can think about practicing, think about studying, but really if we were to open your Google Calendar right now, what would we see, right? If you plan in the next 6 months, because I dialed it in 4.5 months. So from now, if you start today, at the time of this recording, this Christmas, you're going to be celebrating, you're going to be traveling, if we can. You're going to be having a complete upgrade of your lifestyle, because right now, today, you made the decision to start doing things differently. So regroup means you look at your results now, and you have to see that it is a reflection of what you have been doing in terms of your habits, your strategy in the last 6 months. So if you want a different next 6 months, you want to go into 2022 with different things, then now it's the time to initiate that change, right? So externally it is your social media, and internally it is your cultivation, your training. You can't add something you don't have. And if you want to train, it has to be consistent. It's not something that you do once in a while when you feel like it. It must appear on your Google Calendar, right? Like I was saying, what I tell my students, if it's not on your Google Calendar, then it will never happen, right? Comment Google Calendar if you got the message. Block that time out and invest. You think that money is just your resources? No, okay? Your time, okay? Your energy are your resources as well. So if every day you just block out 1 hour, okay, to study your niche, block out another hour to study your closing skills, to practice, that's just 2 hours a day. Even if some of you have a part-time job right now, you could still take that 2 hours out to practice, and then go, just like what I'm doing now, take some time, go online and put out content to share your learnings, go into groups and actually comment things of value and share things of value, help someone to solve something, help someone to optimize something, help someone to add something to their business, to their anything, and document the process. Practice being an agent of value, right? So that is your brand, that is your study. And number 3 is your goals, because it's not just about your Google Calendar, but you need to have a very clear vision, a practical one, something that is very possible. If you think 10K is a far stretch, how about 5? If you think 5 it's still uncomfortable, how about 3? even if you start as an appointment setter, it is still 1 to 2K, which depending on where you are from, that is enough to replace, most of you guys inside a part-time job. That is enough, okay, to start moving the needle, and you'll be working 2022 in the comfort of your own anywhere, as long as you can get to work. And I believe that is the change that you want to have. So when I say goals, if it's too far-stretched, set a practical one, because once you have that, and if you want my personal example of how I mapped out my 6-month plan, which I achieved in 4.5 months, not because I'm different, but because I knew each month what was the plan to optimize one thing. So I was optimizing one thing every month. So by definition, in that 30 days, I knew every day when I got up in the morning, what should I focus on? What should I practice? So in that month, no results, right? Second month, no results. Third month, no results. Fourth month, things started to change because now the foundations were dialed in. I knew all the sequence in closing calls. I knew all the sequence in generating leads, setting appointments, cold calling. I knew all the sequence in optimizing my brand, putting up content. I knew all the sequence when it came to applications, sending in my videos, how to add real value, and these took time to dial in. But if every month you have a clear plan, and therefore every day you have a clear idea of when you get up in the morning, 4 to 6 things that you just need to do for the day. Hey, the rest of the day is yours. You can rest, you can sleep, you can play, because it is not about working 24/7, even though you think that might be the case. It's really about doing the 4 to 6 things that count. And if you want, once again, a clear example of how that is done, one of the lead magnets that I was giving out last week was a success tracker. Okay, so there were 2 pages. On one page, I was teaching my students how to track their daily activities with a simple checklist on the things that count. And on page 2 is to track the influencers, the sales recruiters, and people that you believe in, that you want to close for, that even if you weren't a closer, you would still buy their stuff, consume their stuff, and because you're just a fan of their work. So put these activities and these people on a tracker and polish your Google Calendar. I believe by the end of the year, if you really wanted to make this happen, the bare minimum, you could become an appointment setter. And you must understand, even an appointment setter, which I really enjoy my time booking calls for people, it's so fun. You get a base salary, 500 to 1500 US, and this doesn't even include the commissions, that if the closer or your influencer closes, you have about 4% commission. So in a month, sometimes you even make more than the closers out there if the lead flow is strong, which is super fun. I highly recommend, even those of you that are already closing, if you have never tried appointment setting before, one of these days you should really give it a shot. 1 month, 2 month stint, that is equally fun as well. Because you learn the psychology of how you turn a cold lead into, you are closing them to give you their attention. You're closing them to get them to be curious. And if you are this rock star closer, but you can't close someone to get their attention, their curiosity, then are you really a closer? You get what I mean? So I feel that both skill sets are indispensable. And so back to my main points, you have to dial your brand in, you have to dial your internal study and application in, you have to be really clear in the next 6 months what is a reasonable goal. Because I know a lot of you, when I talk about goals, you start feeling overwhelmed, intimidated. Okay, fine. Give yourself a 50% discount halfway, okay, or even another 50% discount. If 1 month you can earn your investment back from our favorite program, then hey, you can kiss your part-time job goodbye. No more commuting to work, no more difficult colleagues, no more difficult bosses. But in exchange, you have to be a very disciplined boss for yourself. And if you don't know how to get started, let's comment #clarity. Okay, I will send you my tracker, I will send you my to-do list, and whatever resources that you need to get started. And like I said, at the end of the day, you know it. If you really, really want to make it happen, you don't need to say 6 months, okay? next week you could be doing something already. Okay, and next month when you check your PayPal, you'll see numbers coming in, and that is really your decision. The final ingredient is your decision. So if for whatever reason you're unable to make that decision, once again, #clarity, send me a message. I'll send you my resources, and you could get started. But my final question to you is, do you really want this? Well, most of the time you're just lacking the final decision. Okay, so comments, questions, feedback, send them my way, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.